Hmm? Ah!
You're listening to the Run for Your Lives podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And this is the Run for Your Lives podcast.
This episode, we are talking about the horror film The Crazies, directed by Breck Eisner, and released February 26th, 2010. Going back a little ways.
15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. How did it come out 15 years ago? But it did.
It did.
Time is a construct. I don't even know. So, this is our last movie of season 9.
It is.
The only film or the only episode we'll have after this is our RFYL Awards.
Yeah. It's coming up on another season, more awards. That'll be next week. So
Next week.
This movie is the last one to cut in there right under the wire to see if it makes the cut for any awards. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it first.
There's a lot of competition, I think. And I love when we do the RFYL Awards because it's always interesting to see if we're on the same wavelength about some of the categories as far as what we pick. And I've already got ideas on some of my selections. And yet again, I didn't do what I always say I'm going to do, which is keep track throughout the entire season. So I have to go look at everything, and I always end up forgetting or missing some. Then you bring them to the table, and it's like, how the hell did I miss that one? And yet I did. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I always have a blast with those episodes.
Yeah, they're so fun. And this, honestly, is around the time, we've been doing this podcast for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool to think of that. And I look back at what was going on at that time in the pandemic, and like podcasting was really just an outlet for me. And it, kept me going through a lot of time of isolation. So it's cool to still be doing it 5 years later. Well, we will start this the way that we always do with some production notes. Was filmed in Winterset and Lenox, Iowa, as well as Macon, Perry, Montezuma, Fort Valley, and Cordell, Georgia. It's loosely based on the 1973 film The Crazies that was written and directed by George A. Romero. And that had been based on a screenplay called The Mad People by Paul McCullough. Cinematography was by Maxime Alexander, who's known for Crawl and Until Dawn, 2 movies that we have covered on this podcast.
Yes.
Budget was $20 million, and it grossed $54.8 million. It was 101 minutes long. Pake, give us a beautiful synopsis.
Does it have to be beautiful?
No. Pake,
Okay.
give us a synopsis of any kind.
Okay.
Is that better?
In German. No. If I don't know German. All right. I'll give you a synopsis hot off the presses, fresh from 2010 on IMDb.
I would expect nothing less.
Yes. As a toxin begins to turn the residents of Ogden Marsh, Iowa into violent psychopaths, Sheriff David Dutton tries to make sense of the situation while he, his wife, and 2 other unaffected townspeople band together in a fight for survival.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Unaffected. 2 other unaffected townspeople.
At the time, I guess.
At the time? Yeah.
Maybe.
At that point, maybe. When they set off on their little trip. However, no. Russell absolutely was affected. Yes. And Becca was getting it too. Like, she started coughing. Although coughing wasn't as big of a thing. It was mostly nosebleed, I think, that was showcase that.
Yeah. As far as I know, coughing was never a symptom for anybody else. So
Right.
I think she just had a cough. It happens. There's dust in the air.
You know what? It was a precursor to her death. It was foreshadowing her death by strangulation.
Yes, because we all know coughing is a side effect of dying by hanging.
No, you know what I mean, and yet you're being this way. Good grief.
If you see somebody coughing, you know they're going to get hanged later.
No, that is not what I mean. I'm thinking coughing meaning, throat. Never mind. There's no point to trying with you. I know better. Man, this is who you are.
Yes.
And you have
5 years to get used to it, and you accept it. So,
do I accept it? No, I tolerate it.
Okay,
I don't accept it. I tolerate it.
Well, I'll accept the toleration.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Before we jump into characters, I just want to say one thing. Ogden Marsh as a town, a lot of shit went down in the span of 2 days. And I guess I want to say a second thing. The whole thing about that baseball game at the beginning just reminded me of my hometown and how everyone comes together to support the community, high school athletics. And it was very clear everyone was there. And I mean, people were yelling to the pitcher. I mean, even David is yelling something to Scotty, the pitcher. It's like, yes, everyone's a coach in a small town. Even anyone.
Yeah.
It's armchair coaching.
Yeah. Well, that's what we saw what happened at first. And I was like, well, things in Ogden Marsh looked like they went well. And it was like, we'll jump back 2 days to see what happened. I was like, I bet the sports team won the big thing.
Usually they do, I think. But
that's what happened.
Yep, sure. Annihilation of the town because the sports team won. Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. I like this movie. I've seen it a bunch of times. I question whether or not I needed to rewatch it at all because I've seen it so many times. Not as many times as Snakes on a Plane, but quite a few times.
Yeah.
But I did watch it again because why not? And I'm interested in talking about it, obviously, because it's on the list.
Yeah.
I kind of picked this one and said, we're going to do the Crazies. I think I even announced it on the last episode, before we even did the feedback. I was like, I think we're going to do the Crazies next. I was just feeling it. I thought it'd be an easy one to do. Plus, I don't think it's as much of an ensemble cast is what we got. Although you might disagree.
Not as much, but still, yeah. Again, it's not like ensemble in the ways there's clearly a lead actor, lead character that things revolve around. But it's also hard to separate notes with other characters because they're all together at the same time. That's the thing that's been hard to separate because it's like, well, anything that's happening is happening to all of them simultaneously. So there's no point in rehashing the same storyline 3 or 4 times with the different characters when they're all doing the same things in the same places at the same time.
Usually, not always. There are some some things where things are a little where characters are split off. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I tried. I honestly tried to get us a movie that wasn't ensemble. And I'm thinking about how we're starting season 10. I know what our first movie is. And so I don't even remember. It's probably another ensemble. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I do have this, my notes separated this time. It's for the first time in a while. I know, I know Sinners, we were able to split it up and stuff, but a lot of the movies we've done recently have been just I'm not touching my notes. But this one I did, although it's kind of this happened, and then we're going to jump way forward, and you're going to be like, wait, what about all this stuff? And it's well, I gave that to a different character, even though they were all there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're going to go along the way that we always do, talking about characters. And since you separated all your notes, I'm going to let you lead the discussion on it.
Oh, great. Can I unseparate them? No.
No, you cannot. You must continue.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, there's clearly a main character, which is Sheriff David Dutton. Which, yeah, Timothy Oliphant. Always love seeing him. Always
I know.
Happy, so.
Yeah. I knew he was in this movie, and it was great. You know, just knowing that we were going to talk about this one. The cast is decent. Mm-hmm. It really is. I like the cast overall. But like you said, Timothy Oliphant, whenever he's in anything, it's usually a good, safe bet that it's going to be decent.
I do like that the soundtrack starts off with some Johnny Cash, which is nice. Little fun fact I looked into, I found out, because the song that was used here is on the same album as The Man Comes Around.
Yes.
Which was the opening song for another George A. Romero remake, the 2004 Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead.
If you're remaking a George A. Romero film, you must use The Man in Black. Like, it's got to be Johnny Cash.
There you go.
Pick a song from that album to do. Otherwise, it's not really a remake. That's the official stance of Daphne on Run for Your Lives.
All right. We're doing official stances over here now.
Well, I feel like it's just happening because we've been doing them on Buffalo. Although Jerry is supposed to be keeping track of those. Someday we should revisit it and just be like, what are our official stances? Because I don't remember.
There's been a lot.
Once we record an episode, it's over. Like, I let it leave my head and I move on. I have to do it.
I guess there's been some official stances, even if they haven't called that a Run for Your Lives over the years. Like, definitely the repeating, like, Friends Don't Let Friends watch dubbed movies.
That is our number one official stance. Yeah. Number two is that's a very bad idea. I feel like that has become an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Timothy Oliphant as David, the sheriff of this small town, Ogden Marsh. Just over 1,200 people. That is very small. Mm.
It is. Reminds me of where I grew up. I think there were 2,000 people in Jonesport and 600 people on the island I grew up on. So very small.
Yeah.
Very small thing.
Yeah, and like you said, everybo's out at the baseball game. Like, it's just the thing to do. The only thing to do in town.
There's nothing else.
Like, that's, as he says, like, that's the beginning of spring is the first game. And then we get this man, Rory Hamill, just walks out on the baseball field with a shotgun on opening day. And David's got to do what he's got to do, unfortunately. It's the way it plays out.
Yeah, because Rory pulls a gun on him. And I mean, David does try to talk him down. Mm-hmm. He's trying to get through to him, but something's a little peculiar about Rory in this instance.
Yeah. And then we get the cool little thing of seeing this interaction had been monitored by the planes above.
I liked those overhead shots like that. Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool. It made me think a little bit of a video game.
Yeah.
Like panning out.
Yeah, and so then like he's just assuming, oh, Rory's drunk, and then crosses this line, is too belligerent and became a danger. But Rory had been sober for 2 years. So, of course, his family is rightly upset and confused. And the toxicology, which I remember the mortician Jim being like, it'll take a couple weeks. And then it's like literally the next day.
It was the next day. I mean, because again, in the beginning, they show you 2 days prior. I'm like, okay, it's the next day. How is this happening? And they ran it twice. They had enough time to run it twice. Mm-hmm. Did they get some blood equipment that we didn't know about?
Either that or it's always that easy, and it's always you wait because they can make you wait.
I guess. Jesus.
But the toxicology comes back the next day after being told it was going to be weeks. Doesn't matter. And yeah, he was fully sober at time of death, and so David's confused too. It's like, that's odd. And then more people start acting odd. We see over with his wife. We'll talk more about that, but I was like, this isn't Yellowstone, but we still have Duttons as our main characters.
I don't watch Yellowstone, and yet I know that reference. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, really, Dutton? Okay.
Yep. Sheriff David Dutton and his pregnant wife, Dr. Judy Dutton.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, because Judy, we'll talk more about her, but yeah, she has this run-in with Bill as kind of a patient, and then things go south with that. So after he's arrested and David's dealing with him, he's locked up in the jail cell. And he says, it's the same look that Rory gave me. There's something specific about what is happening with these just kind of dead-eyed, like it's like they're zoned out completely, but then snap into this kind of hysteric to where he knows something is up, and then that's when they follow out into the woods, find the crashed plane after the ejected pilot was found in the marshes. It's a big plane.
Well, it was found by those wonderful hunters that were out hunting off season, and I did not get a good vibe off of them, and there's a good reason why. I mean, we didn't need them going crazy. I like that overhead shot, though, of them in the boat and the plane underneath. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and that's when we see initiate containment protocol.
Yep. Never a good idea. Never a good idea. And David wants to do something, and all I could think of was Jaws. Okay? He goes to shut down the water, and the mayor is like, but it's the farming community, and the crops will die, and he's not saying he wants to shut it off forever. He just wanted to shut it off.
Just to make sure. Yeah, it's funny, that same Jaws reference, I thought of that, because that's literally, in my next note is like, he realizes the plane is carrying something that when it hit the water, the supply spills into there. And he's seeing that, like, in order of the people that have been affected, it definitely is something that's in the water supply. So yeah, he goes to the mayor, and the mayor, as mayors in these kind of movies tend to do, refuses to do the right thing.
To listen. No, we can't. No, we can't do it.
Yep.
Cannot shut it down. We have to keep things going. Just for the simple fact of greed. But it isn't even greed. It's just common sense would say we need to contain the situation. Let's shut it down momentarily while we assess the situation.
Yeah.
But no.
Although he does it anyway, so it's not really...
I know. I love that. I love that. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of his character on Deadwood, Sheriff Bullock. If he didn't like what was going on, he was the lawman, but he would go and, like, sometimes do things like that.
Yep.
He grabbed people by the ear and dragged them down the street. He's great. Deadwood is another great show you haven't seen.
I've seen most of it.
You've seen most of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better. I feel better about that.
Yeah. I don't know exactly where I left off, but I saw some of it. Most of whatever. At least half of it. I never finished it. He's
great on that show. Like, that show did not get enough love for the amazingness that it was. Really.
Yes.
But his character reminded me a little bit of that. Even some of his facial expressions, I was like, oh, yes, that is Bullock. That is exactly the face he would make when he was being told something that he didn't want to hear.
Yeah. But then, after things definitely get worse and escalate, that's when the military comes in and full quarantine containment situation, rounding people up, separating them by whether they seem like they could be infected or not. Judy is taken from having elevated temperature, which she's pregnant. That will be a side effect of that. So like immediately it's like, it's probably just because of that, but they're not taking any risks. And then he's being shipped out to this truck stop where they said they're taking all the like people who are healthy and not infected, and they're going to take them to safety. We learn later maybe that wasn't the case, but he's meeting up with somebody there in town that he knows, which he's the sheriff,
Kevin.
So he knows everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kevin, which his wife was also taken, was talking about a couple other people and anyone who's kind of gotten out of line, who's just killed. And I wrote down the line because I really like the line. He says, "Tell you what, Kev, don't ask me why I can't leave without my wife, and I won't ask you why you can."
Yeah, because he's basically saying, don't go off on a fool's errand.
Yeah.
like his wife is a fool's heir and like, okay, you can just leave without, so you don't care, you know? That's ridiculous. Yeah. I wrote that line down as well because I thought it was really good.
And then, again, here's the problem with, like, when people start coming together. I'm like, well, I'm going to focus on one person. I'm just going to, one thing led to another. I'm going to yada, yada, yada my way through a bunch of important stuff that we'll circle back to. But yeah, so they have Judy. They have Becca, who's with Judy, and now need this vehicle to get out. And David's got this idea of, well, we've got an old cruiser at my place. Oh, that's on blocks. It's got no tires. And I was like, well, I assume he's got a plan for that. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's just spare tires laying around in the barn. That's good.
I mean, you had to expect that. I mean,
yeah,
especially because we have these miraculous test results that are coming in the next day instead of a week. So
yeah,
I mean,
everybody's like super on the ball and prepared in this town.
They are. They definitely are.
Yeah. So they've got to make the trek back over to the Dutton house and farm. I guess everybody's kind of different farmlands. Dutton farm. Oh god, it is Yellowstone.
No, he doesn't live on a farm. I don't think he really had a farm. He's more of just the sheriff. But you did skip over a really good part, which is when he goes to the funeral home. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah. No, I forgot. I didn't watch that part. I didn't watch that part. I just fast forwarded a little bit and I was like, I don't have to watch this whole movie.
Are you putting it under another character?
I just I have it under like Crazies notes.
Under Crazies.
I have notes about just like those.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. This episode is off the rails.
Well, yeah, that's what you do. And you're like, we're going to separate notes with characters that were all together the whole movie. Okay.
No. All right. After we do you pick the movie for episode 2 of the season 10. You pick one with characters that we can break out.
I don't know.
I challenge you.
We'll see.
I challenge you for that.
We'll
do
see.
it.
I probably won't.
Come on.
Oh, where was I? I don't remember.
Oh my god!
Derailed it by saying it was off the rails. You derailed it.
I can't help it. It just feels like it is. I don't know why. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Heading back to the Duttons to get this tireless car. But first we got to make a stop at Scotty's place because, well, Becca Moore has decided that for everyone. That's what we're going to do. Luckily, Scotty seems to be totally fine. He's okay. He's doing good. Unluckily, the soldiers are out and about just cleaning up stragglers, taking zero risks. So that whole ordeal just ends with an R.I.P. Scotty and his mom.
Yeah, because his mom had a fever. Mm-hmm. And he goes out to try to rescue her. Much to the dismay of everyone else who's trying to, like, not do anything, like, stay hidden.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
But they do luck out. Like, especially David thinks really well. They nab this young soldier. And I like just, like, this moment of, like, kind of, not, like, knocking him out as much as just kind of, like, clocking him for a second to have him kind of, I don't know, because he wasn't knocked out. They didn't have to like wake him back up, but like it was enough that like he was discombobulated. They got his gun from him, got his helmet off of him, and honestly, because I was like, he's gonna turn on him. I've seen this movie once when it came out. I remembered literally nothing, so it was basically like watching fresh. But no, because he's this like young kid, so he was just like, he says, I didn't sign up for shooting unarmed civilians, and so they let him go, and he keeps the group secret. And the soldiers move out. So it was a nice little exchange there.
Yeah.
And they go back into the house while Russell is working on the car, I assume. It's all off screen. But it seems like Russell was the one putting the car together while David and Judy go back into the house where the Hamills are waiting. So it's like, even though the Crazies, quote unquote, are kind of like this mix of like rage virus, zombie, like thing, there's also like this version of whatever these are in this movie are also still very human. where they have, like, they share, like, they have the human memories, and it's more just, like, the emotions are escalated. Kind of like Rage Virus Zombies from 28, except less than that, because, again, they can talk, they have memories, and so it's just Rory's wife and son are on this, like, vengeance path against the man who killed their husband and father.
I did like the way that David took out Rory's wife.
I call that the hand knife throat grab stab maneuver, which is great.
Amazing. I'm like,
whoever
yes.
came up with that, bravo. It was really cool.
Yeah, because she had stabbed him in the hand, and he just, you can see him moving his hand up the blade as he's talking to her, because she's threatening to kill Judy, and his hand's moving up the blade, and then he just whips the knife out of it and slams into her throat. It is a good kill.
Yes.
For the movie. I think, I thought it was good.
Yeah. And then once again, like at the coroner's or mortician in the morgue that we didn't talk about, we skipped over, and he made sure to point out, once again, Russell comes through, saving his sheriff. This twice, because back in the morgue earlier with Jim the mortician, after he had been up to some fucked up stuff of his own.
He had. Yeah.
It's twice now that David was in a really bad situation, and then bang bang from behind, Russell is here to save the day.
I mean, if you want a partner who's gonna have your back, Russell's the one. Like, he is dedicated to saving the day, at least before he gets mentally incapacitated by the virus.
Yeah. And it starts to show a little bit here, though, because he takes out Rory's son, and then as he's sitting there in the room, he just unloads on the bodies, and it's kind of this, like, just had to make sure, but you can tell it's like, that was a little aggressive. Like, there's something coming out of him there. And so they're worried about him, but they have this conversation, like, maybe it's, it's caught up in the moment. David's very much like, he just saved me, I trust him. But then while they're in the car, you can see, like, Becca is coughing, so that clearly means she's going to get hanged later. We've established that.
You're a smartass. You are.
Tensions are starting to rise. You see Russell's, like, a bit bristly, like, everything. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Like, he's just very testy about, like, everything that's being said. And then a giant helicopter flies overhead, and you think it saw us? I'm like, in what world
did it not?
Does it not see you driving the only vehicle on this entire highway with nothing but cornfields around you?
What do you think this is, Children of the Corn? And they were talking about, we need to hide. Hide? How are you going to hide this car?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not going to happen. You've already been spotted.
But their version of hiding is going into the car wash, which I love these kind of moments. I love when a horror movie makes something mundane scary. We've talked about that a lot. So this time it's like a car wash. Just a simple, going in and driving through with the soap and the rotating things. And it's like something that's just like part of, like, that's, everybody knows what a car wash is. And then taking it from just like this like fun little thing to like blood and suds.
Yep. Blood and suds. That sounds honestly like that's a great name for a band or a store in one of our Kids on Bikes or Kids on Broom campaigns.
Yes. They sell soap and murder equipment.
Yep.
But yeah, the water hose hanging out the back of the car was diabolical. On the bright side, though, if there's a bright side of that, it did make them get out of the car before the helicopter exploded it.
Yeah, I would have hoped that they would have done that anyway, but I'm not sure if they would have. Of
course, realistically, because I was even thinking about this, like, they pulled into the car wash, and I was like, that's a military helicopter. It's got rockets on it. I was like, realistically, the helicopter just blows up the entire car wash and calls it a day. I don't know.
Exactly. I don't see how it would be anything different.
And as I said, with the splitting up of things, and then one thing led to another, yada 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 yada, And they make it to the truck stop.
And you've missed a whole chunk of stuff, but we'll get back to it. As usual with characters, we are going to circle back to Russell and
He's
all
got his
the
whole
things.
arc there.
Yes,
but yeah,
he does.
Yada yada. Who cares? Russell doesn't matter. Let's get to the truck stop. And
the good old boys are there.
Yeah, it's empty. Everyone's gone. No buses, no military. The only thing there besides an abandoned store are the bodies of the people that were supposed to be evacuated, the healthy ones. So that's where they have this moment between the two of them where they realize that this was a full extermination. No witnesses, no survivors operation.
Yeah, and she actually says to him, tells him to stop saying that everything's going to be okay. Because he'd been, trying to stay upbeat. Judy's just kind of stop saying that things are going to be all right. Because that's not the situation that we're in. They're trying to kill us.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody else there except, as you mentioned, our hunter friends from earlier. They've been going around. And I was watching, I was like, oh, the group of hunters, they're out in the streets. Well, hunting. I was like, are they infected or is this just them? Because honestly, it could go either way.
Given the characters and what we saw of them earlier, as I said, I got a bad vibe off of them anyway. They did not prove me wrong. They proved me 100% correct. I feel like if it takes someone as simple as someone like Rory or even Ben from the school, like the principal guy, and turns them into homicidal maniacs, what is it going to do to people who are already kind of in that zone? Yeah.
And so, when we find them again at the truck stop, they've been bagging soldiers now. They've got quite the collection of kills going on.
They've got a meat locker. They have a meat locker.
They did. But then... I could recap some stuff, but you get it. You watch the movie. There's quite the battle to get the truck and escape. They fired it up for sure. With some really great sequences in there. I like that scene. And then they get just far enough away to survive the military just nuking the entire town as a final resort.
Man, that's true.
The couple makes it to the outside of Cedar Rapids, and then the military surveillance planes have tracked them, and we get, again, the initiate containment protocol with Cedar Rapids. And there are so many times, just, again, because he's wearing his, small town sheriff's uniform, walking down the middle of an empty street. Do
you think he's like Rick Grimes?
I know, so much Rick Grimes. There's so many moments I was like, oh, he's like Rick Grimes, he's Rick Grimes. And then here at the end, I was like, and either the virus has already spread, or... because they're walking into Cedar Rapids, he's definitely pulling a Rick Grimes by bringing sure death and destruction to a previously perfectly fine community by showing up.
You went there.
Yeah.
You went there. Funny enough, Rick Grimes is coming to Dead by Daylight. Him, Michonne, and
so everybody's dead, for sure. You're never going to win a game if he's in it.
Well, I mean, he's still...
He'll survive. Whoever's playing him will survive, but nobody else has a chance.
But that's a good thing, because honestly, I usually die in the game, especially when a brand new killer is being introduced. And we were thinking that Negan might be introduced with, Lucille, but no. It's just Rick, Michonne, and Daryl. And I guess Andrew Lincoln and Norman Reedus did the voices for Daryl and Rick. And the... map, I saw a little bit of it today. It's kind of the hospital, but I don't really know. It's coming. I just haven't, I don't know. I'll just check it out when it comes. But I do get the connection with Rick Grimes. I mean, I thought that too. Yeah. I'm just like,
to where he's walking into Cedar Rapids. It was like, well, now that he's here, everybody's going to die. He's definitely pulling a Rick Grimes.
Yeah, but I don't think Russell was Shane in any way. I liked Russell. I thought he was cool.
Yeah.
Till he started going off the rails. So they head off to Cedar Rapids is Cedar Rapids or Cedar Falls? Okay, so they head off to Cedar Rapids with their sweatshirts, Iowa sweatshirts.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so Quick Fills, which is what the name of the gas station was,
Mm-hmm.
and not Fills as in Fills, Quick Fills, PHILS. So it's kind of like, I get what they were doing there. And I looked at it and I thought, are you trying to be like a Buc-ee's, like a small town Buc-ee's? Because you're not.
It felt more like a play on Quick Trip.
Oh, what is Quick Trip?
The same thing.
The same thing? Okay.
Truck stops, convenience stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have those in Maine. We have Irving and Cumberland Farms.
Those do not sound like names of convenience stores or truck stops.
But
Those
they
sound
are.
like neighborhoods or grocery stores.
No. Cumberland
Markets.
Farms was seen on The Last of Us. It's real. For real. It exists. Just because it was on The Last of Us.
I believe you. You don't have to convince me. I believe you.
Whenever you're here again, I'm going to take you to a Cumberland Farms.
I don't think you're making it up. No.
I'm not. So it seems like you've got through all of David's notes. Do we want to talk about Judy?
Yeah, I've got 4 whole notes that I probably already talked about.
Well, she's the small town doctor.
Yeah.
And Becca is her assistant or her CNA or receptionist. I'm not really sure what.
Don't know.
And she's the one who Deirdre brings her husband Bill in to take a look at because he's kind of a space cadet. Like he's repeating himself. You know, I'm just tired. And then that night he goes home and basically locks his family in the house and burns the house down.
Mm-hmm.
And Judy freaks out a bit about that, which I mean, I understand why she would.
Yeah.
I mean, she may feel somewhat responsible because she wanted him to be checked out and get an MRI on Monday, but there was no Monday in Ogden Marsh.
No.
It was flattened.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really the big thing then is her being separated after the military comes in. Like I said, it's because she's pregnant that her temperature is it's like not necessarily like a fever, but it's elevated. That's normal. That is just a side effect of being pregnant sometimes. So she gets taken away. And we see, even after the breach and everything goes crazy and the soldiers flee, she's just left in that room. And I was like, well, she's not infected, but she's left tied to a gurney in a room full of people who are. So that's wonderful.
And that one guy that was laying there and he was just giggling.
Mm-hmm.
That was very unnerving, I think. Just having him that giggling in the background while she's laying there looking around.
And Becca was also in there, not infected. And so that's where my theory, it never comes up again. And I think that's where, because again, the coughing was never a symptom of that. And it almost like it was like a sickness or just kind of feeling unwell. Why would she have been taken away unless her temperature was elevated a little bit?
Do you think she was having a baby?
I think Becca was also pregnant, that dang Scotty.
Well, he's not Scotty too hotty.
Well, yeah, he's Scotty way too hotty after he got flamethrowed.
That is true. That is true. They were still in high school. Like, they're still in high school.
And?
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
And?
True. I get it.
Have you ever been in a small town?
Have I been in a small town? Yes.
Right. So, and?
Yes. Yes, I get it.
What else is there to do? Go to the baseball game and that.
Okay. Are you saying they got busy in the hay in the barn?
Probably.
Oh my God, I don't even know.
Seems like the best place.
Maybe.
Plenty of room in there, we saw. Nice little back area. I don't know. Yeah, also while they're in this like area with the gurneys and stuff, Yeah, because they get left in there because the soldiers, we hear one of the soldiers yelling over the walkie-talkies and so, get out, get out, get out. The Crazies have reached the containment area. And I was like, he said the name of the movie. He said the thing. As our
drop.
Good friend Steve would say. Yep, mic drop.
Okay.
And then later, whenever they're in there, and then I was like, it's the pitchfork from the poster. Is there a visual version of mic drop?
You don't see the pitchfork. You hear it at first, like scraping across the floor, which is a sound that made my teeth hurt as it scrapes across the ground. And then you see our good friend Ben, or rather, infected Ben, with the pitchfork. And he's doing a little damage control for our army friends and the government, basically.
Yeah. Really, the last thing I could say with Judy is she's got to stop being in places where a person can be revealed to be behind her somewhere. It's a problem.
It really is.
There was too many Judys in this room, and also somebody else is. Like, too many of those moments in this movie. Dun, dun, dun. That's about all I have for.
Okay. So, are we going to move on now to Russell?
Yes. That would be who I have next. The deputy, Russell, is a good guy. Was glad he was here to help out. Meets back up with David. They can get Judy. Can they get out of here? And so, yeah, he's good. I'm like, we talked about, he just would pop up in the right moments and save David's hide several times. 3 times by his count.
Russell, there was a point when David goes to get the gun. Basically, the gun that killed Rory, he had put in this box, basically. And he goes to get the gun, and Russell and him have a little face-off because they don't know who the other person is that's in the office, but they know someone else is there. And Russell, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something, and I think that's when David started to notice, okay, Russell is... It's starting with him because he started to get a little crazy. And he even brings it up later on. Well, I'm only a half a mile from Rory's house, which means that with regard to the water supply, he was gonna get, like, he's on the list. Like, as far as, you don't have to go that far to get to him as far as his infection. Yeah.
And then, yeah, you see him becoming more aggressive and reckless. And that's, yeah, you watch them, as I said, with the Hamels, where their dead bodies are laying on the floor, and then he just keeps unloading and shooting into them. And it's like this, where he says, I'm just making sure. But it's like, Judy's got that look at it. I was like, oh, please, no, not Russell. That's what I said. David wants to have faith in him. But Judy is convinced that means that he's infected, and it's only a matter of time before he becomes dangerous. And then while they're in the car, like I said, he's a little bit more snappy.
Yeah.
And then after they lose their car because it gets blowed up, and so they're back out walking, and that's whenever they see the, like, official driving that, like, black unmarked SUV that we had seen before. And David takes upon himself. He's like, well, we're going to take that car. We need a car. Like, I'll stop him. And instead, Russell has his own plans. And I was like, yes, Russell, that car will be so useful now that you spiked it and sent it flipping over and over and over and over, fully destroying it. Way to go.
He was angry because they had spiked his tires earlier, so he was taking it out on them now because he was angry. Because, again, this virus, it amplifies anger and meanness, and it was not good for him to do that.
And then he kills the official that had the car, that had the answers they needed. So you see that, he's deteriorating. And I like that David tries to play it smooth by just taking the gun quietly, like, I'll hold on to this for a while. But, that does not go well. And so at that point, even David's like, I think it's safe to say he's a lost cause. How do we handle that? Which there's enough, he knows that their relationship is close enough to where, like, if he was anybody else, Russell would have killed him immediately.
Absolutely.
But because of the relationship they had, he had this feeling that, like, there's still enough of him left in there that he's not going to just, like, immediately react as long as I keep it calm.
Yeah. Yeah. He knew how to get through to him by basically being very calm to him, talking to him, and then punch him in the fucking face.
Mm-hmm.
So he could get the gun. And that's when Russell he's like, I'm infected.
Yeah. He has this kind of random, like, moment of clarity, this, like, this period of time. But yeah, he knows he's infected. And it's kind of that emotional moment. He's like, can I please keep walking with you for now? And
yeah.
I mean, he seems to be good for a little bit, but he knows he's done for. So he makes that sacrifice to be the distraction that David and Judy need to get past that checkpoint. He might as well go out doing something good because he knows he's not going to make it.
Yeah. And he does. I mean, he does what he can. He goes, and I feel like he wants to take out as many of them as he can in the situation, but also be the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before they even find out. I mean, Judy hadn't discovered the burned bodies or the shells at the gas station at that point, so they didn't even know that the soldiers had been taking people out that way and that it was an extermination, basically.
Yeah.
And I love his final words were, fuck you for what you did. And that's what he said to the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked how David had this way of talking to him. Like, who's the sheriff of the county? You are. And who's the deputy? I am. Like, it's this... Mm-hmm. You can tell that they've done that. He's done that before. Like, that's something he uses to, like, the few situations. Because I think Russell may have gotten agitated, not to this level or anything, but in general, he may have had to, like, kind of bring him back to earth at different times. And I think he used that to do that.
Yeah. I could see that. So I have just, like, a few other kind of random notes, like some more about, like, Crazies, like some of those scenes and, like, military stuff. But then also random other things like Becca, Danielle Panabaker. That was good to see her a lot younger.
Yes.
She was great in The Flash, the TV series. All those. Plus Sky High back in the day.
She's been in a bunch of different movies. She was in the Friday the 13th remake that they did, which we'll cover on this podcast someday.
Maybe. Who knows?
It's like those movies that...
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
And then another random thought, because they would just show, like, the downtown little, like, stretch, like, of main shops and stuff, and there was one that always stuck out to me, and I was like, I wonder how good of a lunch spot Electric Burrito was.
It sounds like a place you'd like to go.
I guess.
I mean, you like burritos, don't you?
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be a place that you'd be like, oh, Electric Burrito, that's kind of a cool name. I might have to check that out.
That's why I took a note about it while even seeing it here. I was like, Electric Burrito, tell me more. Oh, it's not there anymore. Dang.
Nope, it's gone. You could go take it over if you want, maybe, and reopen it.
Yeah, I don't think it's there physically anymore.
It's gone. It has been. They did level the whole thing.
That's more than just a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
First, we've got to find where the street that it was on.
True. That's true.
Yeah. Then, some crazy kind of stuff. Yeah, we talked about Bill and stuff, that we see whatever's happening at first, that the victims of it at first just seem very zoned out and unresponsive, and then they get into these weird, like, mental cycles where they're, like, repeating stuff, but then they, like, snap back and forth. We're like, I'm fine, and now I'm not, and then I'm fine. We first see the thing with, like, Ben, the principal, where he's sitting out there on the bleachers, and he's just, like, fully zoned. But then you can also play that off as you're like, well, he's traumatized. He's dealing with what happened on the baseball field. And then Bill at the clinic, you're like, well, yeah, he's definitely out of it. Something's wrong. And yeah, as you mentioned, Judy just, like, sends him home, like, well, something's going on, but we'll figure it out. And then he goes home and kills his wife and son by locking them in a closet and burning the house down. So escalates very quickly.
The actor that played his son played Cody in Dexter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even know. I didn't even like realize that.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've watched.
I know.
The original series of Dexter. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid's roles, he just never really had great times.
Nope, never.
Now, honestly, I'm not gonna spoil too much Dexter. Honestly, I think Cody and Aster. That's it. Yeah, Cody and Aster. I think they turned out okay. There's just a point in the series where like, and they're gone, and they're not around this anymore, and we don't see them anymore, and they're okay. Just
it's probably
let
good
them
for
have
them.
happy lives. Yes.
Yes, it's probably good for them.
Yeah.
That's the situation.
Yep. Yeah, and then we just see Bill's deterioration in the jail cell, where he almost does deteriorate more into that like rage virus zombie level.
Yeah. Gets more and more and more and more infected, and the people that did the makeup and effects on this were the same ones who did it for Quarantine, which was the US version of Wreck.
Yeah.
And I can see a little similarity in it, but there are some differences too. It's not like they just took it and copied it or whatever.
Yeah. And the internet cell service all goes down, so that's when you're like, okay, this is truly apocalyptic, like something bad is happening here, and they've closed everything off.
Well, that's when David he's like, we're in trouble. Like, he knew they were in trouble.
So we've talked about the Mortician, talked about the Hunters, talked about the Hamels.
Can we talk about the fact that this Reverend, is laying on a slab at the Mortician's because Jim has sewn his lips shut and his eyes shut, okay?
Yeah. Which then when he says behind you, it's like, how do you know? Your eyes are sewn shut.
Exactly. But then they leave him there and he's just left there. Can you tell me why? I mean, he didn't try to help the man. He just left him.
Not even after, the Mortician, after Jim dies and Russell saves him, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, that guy's laying there. We know. They're just like, okay, bye. Good luck.
Nope. They left him there. He's been annihilated. I'm like, what? What are you doing? What?
I cut your mouth free. You got this from here, buddy. Go ahead. You're
sure.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that.
There was a moment that David could have lost a lot. And, I feel like Russell didn't just save his life. He saved his private parts when that saw was coming toward it. And then you just see his foot on the cord. It's like, yep, Russell to the rescue. That should be his new TV series. Russell to the rescue. Yep.
So there is a mid-credits scene with a news broadcast that cuts in and out with, infected stuff that shows that it probably would have spread anyway, and David's not Rick Grimesing it.
No.
But that the spread already had taken place over to Cedar Rapids anyway. And then military notes. So it said there's the unmarked black SUV. We see it a couple times. The first time it's in town watching, and then drives off whenever David clocks it. It was like, that's not concerning at all.
No.
The quarantine camp on the baseball field with tensions and worries and stuff. Like, it's without getting too deep into stuff, it's like, that feels too real right now. Cool.
Yeah, I noted the same thing. The rounding up of people. Mm-hmm. That kind of, I was like, okay, that seems a little too realistic right now.
Yeah. The military talking about the viruses going airborne. It's like, yeah, if that's the case, then I agree to you. Things did get much worse.
Yes.
And then also, I think the last note I have is just, I was like, the military seriously put boots on every single vehicle in town and on every farm they could find. They really didn't want anybody getting out.
Nope.
Who had those jobs? Go around and find every car in town and on people's properties and just put a boot on them.
Boot on it.
Where did they get all these boots?
Well, they had that one truck that they thought, oh, well, we can use this truck. But no, David sees the blood seeping out of the bottom. We find out it's the Hunters, and they've been running around town shooting people and putting them in the truck. Mm-hmm. The guy that was in the black SUV did give David the information, and David and Judy and Russell the information that it was a biological weapon called Trixie. Mm-hmm. It was on the plane, and they were sending it to Texas to be destroyed. So I basically just got out. It made me think of Captain Trips, which is The Stand.
Mm-hmm.
Where by accident it got out.
Yep.
I think the only other thing is the soldier that was in the barn with them, he told them that he wouldn't say anything. And one of the thing that he said, I think that made David realize, okay, I don't think he will, is he said, I didn't sign up to shoot unarmed civilians, which kind of just solidified or backed up the fact that they were just killing people. Like, they were not, it didn't matter. At one point, it was like, nope, okay. You live in this town, you're dead. Like, that was the situation. And that's where we were.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I've got. So, I think, we've thoroughly gotten through everything. In one way or another, jumping back and forth, but we did it.
Well, we do that with character notes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially character notes that are taken and separated by character and not all in one lump.
Yeah. Which has become more of a rarity these days.
I know. I don't know. Do you think it's because movies are moving toward that?
I don't know. Not really. It just depends on the movie. I think we've just been doing more specific genre horror kind of things that do that.
I mean, we have been doing a lot more recent movies.
Yeah.
Like, so I wondered if that might be part of it. But maybe not.
Yeah, don't know. I think it's fine either way. We're still having fun with it.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. We got the feedback phone going off already, so maybe we'll have to see what others had to say about this one. Let me go pick that up. All right, there is a little bit of feedback this week for the Crazies, but first, we're going to jump back just a little bit to our coverage of Sinners, as we've got some feedback here for that one. So, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch that one, what's wrong with you? Get on that. But yeah, and the special thing about this one is it is, I think, our first one that we have received via text message, because that is an option that I don't know if we talk about too much, but
we don't.
That is also available to you to reach out, besides email and Facebook comments, which are our usual ways of getting things. You can also reach out via text message, and Daphne will include that and tell you how to do that later as well. I'm just deciding that you're going to do that. Because I don't know. But yeah, so that first one actually comes from Tam on there. It says, "Hey guys, Tam from Perth here." And I'm part of me was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do an Australian accent. And then immediately went, no, let's not do that.
Pake, everyone knows you love doing accents.
I do, but I'm going to hold back. Anyway, Tam from Perth here to say, I finally watched Sinners after listening to you talk about it, which is an interesting way to do things, but okay, you do you. But they go on to say, luckily I don't think anything was ruined because I really enjoyed it, and because of the pod, I watched all the way through the credits to Sammy singing One Last Beautiful Time. My favorite vampire movie because of the woo-woo of it all, or maybe the Irish dancing and Scottish jigs. I don't think I would have bothered if I hadn't listened to you both, so thanks. Tam.
Tam,
Yay.
I'm glad that we could get you excited about this movie. So excited that you decided to check it out.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful movie, and I know I've mentioned it, I think, on Buffalo, but this one is getting re-released to the theaters, and I need to go see it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's an experience that I need to have.
That would be fun. Yeah, I might do it as well.
So, moving on to The Crazies. Catherine says, excellent movie to end the season. The scenes with the Crazies were fun, especially the car wash and the bouncing pathologist saw. Yeah, that's one to remember. Current events make the military response seem completely plausible and much more terrifying than I remember, especially the ending. I didn't like Russell's character in the beginning, yet somehow his ending hit harder than anyone else's.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, have to agree.
Indeed. And we've got one more from Sam Also here saying, I've enjoyed this film a lot longer than I think it holds up in the zeitgeist, until 2025. The mass spread of an unknown, unseen pathogen that causes neighbor to turn against neighbor in a violent frenzy, and the government seeking eradication of the problem rather than understanding. Quite a commentary on current American culture. The film shows the audience that we are all capable of just about anything given the right or wrong set of circumstances. Oh, and the jump scare of that guy being grabbed from above and hanging as they drive off gets me every time. Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Sam, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you'd like to submit your feedback, as Pake mentioned, thanks, Tam, for our first text chat, you can send us a text message. There's actually a link on the episode on our Buzzsprout page. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Run For Your Lives Podcast. You can email us at runforyourlivespodcast@gmail.com. You can go to runforyourlivespodcast.com for all the links that you'll ever need. And if you're enjoying the show, be sure to tell your friends. We are available on all the podcast players, including Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. If you feel so inclined, give us a review on Apple Podcasts, as that is the best way to share the love and get us out there even more. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, we do. And of course, speaking of sharing the love, I got to give some shout outs to the things going on around us in the Podcastica universe and beyond. Of course, over on the Cast of Us, Lucy and Jason continuing their Walking Dead rewatch. So, of course, the latest episode is Season 4, Episode 14, The Grove. So you can go check out their coverage of that episode over there, their rewatch. And then also over on Still Slaying, they got the Buffy episode rewatches going on. Season 4 as well over there, Episode 11. And Penny is joined by Kara, Sam, and Steve on that one, which I say Penny was joined by... Penny, Kara, and Sam are pretty regular, but Steve is joining them over there. So you can go check that out. And also on that podcast coming up, since we just talked about it again, their own coverage of Sinners will be up as well very, very soon, if not already. So you can check that out as well. I'm very excited to see what they thought about it. Maybe even you, Tam, if you need more Sinners goodness, go over to our good friends at Still Slaying and see what they had to say as well.
Yes.
And then on the Squid Game cast, Veronica and Jason are finishing that series up this week with the Season 3 finale, the series finale. For now, as far as we know. At least the original series, hint, hint. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of speculations, a lot of things that aren't confirmed or official or anything, but definitely an interesting ending to that one. Go check out their coverage of that over on the Squid Game cast. Also on Let It Rip, the Bear cast, Peter and Lucy should hopefully have their coverage of the back half of Season 4 up very soon. Keep an eye out for that as well. Season 4 of The Bear, talking about those last 5 episodes together, and of course doing some cooking segments and stuff. Keep an eye out for that as well. And as I say, beyond, because of course I got to give some love over to the Pirate Core Entertainment Podcast Network with their What's On Tonight podcast, where Becky, Mark, and Penny are covering Dexter Resurrection, Season 1, Episode 4 this week. So yeah, the Dexter Resurrection coverage has been going on over on What's On Tonight, so you can go check out the newest one there. And then over at TV Podcast Industries, they are covering Season 2 of Sandman. So you can go check out that over on TV Podcast Industries. A lot of good stuff to listen to. And then also a lot of just other stuff to listen to. If you want... Buffalo exists. So if you want to listen to that podcast as well, do it. It's going to be fun. Me and Daphne with our good friends Jeff and Jerry just taking a break from movies, pop culture. Well, sometimes movies and pop culture involved, but movies and TV shows and stuff. We're not covering anything. We're just having fun, playing games, making each other laugh, or groan, or pass out, whatever it requires that week. But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with it, and go check it out. We're just having a blast over there.
That we are.
But yeah, other than that, you can go check out all that stuff, and then we will be back here on Run For Your Lives next week. One last time for the season, as it is the Season 9 finale next week. And those who have been listening to our podcast for a good while probably know exactly what that means. But just in case they need a refresher, we've got some new people on this season. Daphne, what are we doing next week?
Well, it's time, as you said, for our final episode of the season. we are going to bestow our coveted Riffle Awards. You can check back next week to learn what we chose for our Season 9 favorite supporting character, threat, movie, and episode.
Mm-hmm. We'd also love to hear from you, what your favorites are from this season as well. We are recording earlier than usual. If you're listening to this as it drops, the day that it drops, then you've got just a few days because we're actually going to record on Monday. Usually we wait like a whole extra week, but I'm going on vacation, so I'm going to be away from all of the podcast, everything, for a little over a week. So we're going to get that feedback and stuff for that recorded soon. So if you've got thoughts on your favorites of Season 9, get those in ASAP, and we will have them on the show next week. So hope to hear from you.
I can't believe that we've reached the end of another season. This is episode 224, so 225 will come out next week. We had a very interesting discussion on who should get the awards, so I hope you guys will enjoy that one. But this brings us to the end of another fun episode. Thanks everyone for listening. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And if you have to run, you better run for your lives.
Bye-bye.